This is the first day when we brought the material to the Mosul Museum. We'll see in details everything. Now, this is one of the crowns. Again, you see these rosettes. They are there. The Assyrians used them in all their decorations and in palaces and on their clothes and everything. Now we have them on gold. Some anklets, which we could see one of them on the leg of one of the queens when we opened the sarcophagus. One thing is nice. We should know that each one of these big ones weighs 1,600 grams of royal gold. But the idea was each one had a pin. They would be opened, just like this. And I just want to mention this lady, Noreen Feeney, allowed me to use some of her pictures. She was there for the exhibition of 2003, and some of her pictures I'm showing you here together with my pictures. A beautiful plate, and you know, these are some details. This is for the rim and this is for the center. Wonderful Assyrian motifs, all gold. Only one Egyptian plate. This is a complete Egyptian decorated plate. Even the gold was different in color. So, and we know from that period the Assyrians and the Egyptians had wonderful relations, sending gifts to each other. But this is a very nice and needs to be studied thoroughly because everything is Egyptian on this plate. Now this is a wonderful diadem. We've seen this in the Assyrian sculptures. For the first time, we have it. It's all in gold, and this band is 6 centimeters wide, all woven with gold strings and precious stones. And here we have very small pomegranates attached to all these parts and precious stones, as you can see. Some more details of that diadem. These are some more attachments to other crowns. We did not have them. But one thing is interesting here. One of these, not these two, we have several ones. One of these is mentioning the stone of the crown of King Kurikalzu. There's a text. Now, Kurikalzu is a Kassite king, and he was in about 1500 BC. And what we have here, almost 800 BC, which means that they did keep antiques during that time, because the text is there. It's mentioning the name of King Kurikalzu, and we have no one but that Kassite king. Some of the seals, cylinder seals, stamp seals, with different motifs, with gold caps, and you can see also here, we'll see some others. This is the stamp seal of Queen Yabaya herself, because it's mentioned here. This is the seal of Queen Yabaya, her personal seal. And here we see her herself standing in front of goddess Gula. Bracelets, different kinds of bracelets. The average weight of each bracelet was made of solid gold, about 800 grams of each. One of them, I found that it had, in behind here, perhaps it's a trademark of the goldsmith, a very small, tiny picture of a lion. Very small, in millimeters size, but a beautiful lion just inside here. And there were different ways. Sometimes you would have the gold as the background or the front, and the background is precious stones. Sometimes the other way around, and it goes in different. And of course, here we see also inlaid with different kind of stone some details here. These are just other solid golds. You see here, again, these ones, I'm sure, I weighed them, they were, each one was 800 grams of gold. In grave 3, we found some material that looked small and looked maybe for children. And we did find some skeletal remains for a child. And there was something mentioned in some of the texts there that perhaps there was a kind of sickness and the child died. So all his material was kept with him in that grave 3. This is from the second grave. Again, we see they had pins, but it's a beautiful way of serpents meeting the heads here with the pins that you can open it and wear it and then close it. I managed to convince one of the ladies in the museum to wear some of these necklaces, and again we did that in black and white, but a beautiful combination. Some we managed to know exactly how they were, some we're not sure because we just found them scattered in the sarcophagus. This is a beautiful necklace. We have 2 of these in the collection. The other one is exactly the same, but these almonds are inlaid with precious stones. This one is complete gold, and here you will see the clip is gazelles, heads of 2 gazelles. Now, different kinds, whatever you can imagine of designs, you'll find it there. This is the mirror. And you see how beautiful this handle was made as a palmette, as a date palm. And here we have some more details in gold and precious stones. We have some bowls. This one is the biggest one. It's something like that. And the guy who took it up for the first time, he cleaned it on top, and I was making some video shots. That moment, he said, "My God," I said, "What is it?" He said, "It's full of rings and earrings." And it was, yes, full of rings and earrings, and we will see some of those examples. This is that big bowl that we had. By the way, you see, we have the inscriptions here, but in several material from that grave that this belongs to Yabaya, and we see the image of the scorpion. We also see it on, I don't have a picture, on a mirror made of silver for her. Now, in studying this, we understood that women wanting children would have scorpions on their possessions. It looks like she did not have children, Yabaya, but she had this symbol on her material, on her jewelry. So more different kinds of bowls. We have these made of stone. We have them made of copper. For the first time, we have them in gold from Nimrud. Again, you see, everything is inscribed with the names of the queens and the details. Some of the earrings, different designs. This is one of them. And this is another. And this is another. This was just a pair, not unlike those. Those were so many, but these 2 big ones were just a pair of beautiful way of decorating these things. Again, another pair which it has some kind, if you move them, it looks like if the lady would wear them and moves, they have a kind of wonderful sound of bells, very small bells. One of the bottles that was there, maybe for cosmetics. Now, grave number 3, it contained in the antechamber 3 of these copper sarcophagus. One was this one on top. There was another one on the bottom here beneath, and a third one on the side. But in the main chamber there, the main stone sarcophagus was empty. So we came to a conclusion that, of course, as you can see, this door is closed. So this means these people here died after the one that was buried in the main chamber. So they took all the jewelry from the one in this main chamber and they put it with these. So the children, the child was in here, but he had, or she, I'm not sure, had a crown, a large size, normal size of a crown. And we'll see it. And we had in this third one here bones of a grown-up adult. So we believe when they moved the material from the main chamber here, took all the things, they even moved the bones and put them here, and jewelry with their jewelry, with the children's jewelry themselves, which we'll see some of them, and with the jewelry of the main chamber, they were all put together in these two. This one and another one down here. This is the main chamber with the sarcophagus made of stone, and this is the cover of that sarcophagus where that text is here, where we have the name of Mullisu Mukannishat Nineveh. This is the plan of the grave. As we said, this is the antechamber with 3 copper sarcophagus, then the main chamber here. This is the stone sarcophagus, but was empty, but we have all the material from here. An isometric design for the same. It's exactly like you see it this way. Now this was the crown. The first time we took it, brought it to the Mosul Museum, crushed in this way, then it was worked and beautifully done in the laboratory in Mosul, and this was the key. It's spectacular in everything. These are pomegranates here, some angels, and a vine tree here. But the beautiful thing is that it had clusters of grapes down here made of lapis lazuli. And you'll see them here. This is a top view of the crown, and this is a bottom view of the same crown, and you see the clusters all over here, and these are some details of those clusters. And the clusters were built together on a rod of gold, glued, I repeat, glued these lapis lazuli together. And this might be the strongest glue. 2,800 years. Some of them we found them dropped down, but most of them were intact, exactly like we see them. And I made some studies from my photographs, these, about the craftsmanship. I could see a lot of work. Here we have the encapsulation, here we have soldering, here we have gluing, and a lot of techniques that were used in this gold material, and we know they were used inside the palace itself. We know the Assyrians in Nimrud had workshops for the people who made ivories, for the people who made pottery, and for the people who made gold material for the royal family.